Hello, I'm Erik Robey.
And I'm Kristin Lagana. Welcome to Anne Arundel County Week in Review. Today we'll meet the new Chief of Police and we'll preview one of the best crab feasts of the summer. But first, making headlines, most news outlets are giving you a spoiler alert these days because Olympic news is breaking faster than the broadcasts most people see. Not here, we're not going to do that to you. We do want to remind you of two local sports heroes you can look out for though. Both of them are still competing as we are taping the show right now, so we'll give you the latest on our Facebook page. Matt Centrowitz is the Broadneck High graduate who is competing in track and field. Matt competes in the 1,500-meter event. If you're new to track like me, it's worth noting that he won't be running against Usain Bolt, who is really, really fast. Track athletes usually compete in a specific event, so just because they all run doesn't mean they run against each other. Hopefully, Matt has made it through the first round, which was today. Again, check our Facebook page for instant updates. Your next two chances to see him will be in the semifinals on Sunday, August 5th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, our time, and the finals on Tuesday, August 7th at 4 o'clock. Now, the finals will be televised, but the first two rounds will not. If you really want to see the events live, you need to go to www.nbcolympics.com/live-extra and watch it on your computer. To try to do this well in advance because it takes some time to figure it all out. But it's free, so there you go.
We like free, and Kristin, you're forgetting our other Olympian. That's right, we have another one.
I don't know.
Another Broadneck High School graduate, actually competing in, you guessed it, windsurfing. I didn't know that was an Olympic sport, but it is. Farrah Hall is representing the red, white, and blue in that event. As of our taping, she was in 18th place competing for those medals after 4 races. There are 10 races before the medal race for all of you keeping track at home. After much research, we can tell you to get on your computer on the morning of Saturday, August 4th to catch the next race. That one will be at 7 o'clock in the morning. The fun begins on Sunday morning at the same time, and finally the medal race is Tuesday, August 7th at 9 a.m. And that's on TV. So you got all that? Write it down for us, folks. So if you want to watch the finals for Matt and Farrah both, you might want to consider taking Tuesday off. Are you a windsurfer? You never do any windsurfing?
No, I can't say that's my forte.
What's that new thing that they do? I see people, in Ocean City, actually, they're on looks like a surfboard and they're paddling. And what is that?
I don't know. Paddleboarding.
Paddleboarding.
Yeah,
if
it sounds
not,
good.
We're calling it paddleboarding.
Also something that I'm not very familiar with. I should be up for all that, Erik, because I can't miss the men's doubles badminton finals at 4 a.m. on Sunday. Now let's head back from across the pond for what's going on here locally. And first it's crabs, crabs, crabs. Mark Chang has our first community spotlight with information about the Baltimore, Washington Medical Center Crab Feast. Mark.
Thanks to both of you in the studio. I'm over here at the Baltimore Washington Medical Center in Glen Burnie, and with me today I have Ron Andro, who is a Senior Vice President, also the Chief Operating Officer for the Baltimore Washington Medical Center, Senator Ed DeGrange, who's part of the Rotary Club of Glen Burnie, and Dave, you're back there, and Rick and Mike, the usual folks back here. So it's all good to have all you on the show, and thanks a lot for taking your time out of your day to come on the show and just talk about the annual Rotary Crab Feast that is a great opportunity to bring the community and the hospital together to support the hospital. And could you tell us how the hospital feels about this great event?
First of all, we want to thank the Rotary of Glen Burnie for all they're doing to help the hospital. We benefit greatly by this each year, and their generosity is so widely appreciated.
Okay, great. And where do the proceeds go that come from the Rotary Crab Feast?
They go to the Allied Nursing Health Scholarship Fund here at Baltimore Washington Medical Center. It helps our individuals who are here to advance really their careers, and also too, it really gives everyone an opportunity to address healthcare and what it might mean for them in the future from a career basis. Okay,
great. And I know I was there last year. I know there was tons of people packing the house. Could you tell the viewers out there how much you all raised last year?
Last year it was $30,000, and so we're very excited about that, and we just think it's fantastic.
Okay, great. And this is the 41st event. So for the past 4 decades, how much have you all raised?
About $400,000. So it's been fantastic. We're very excited about this.
That's very great. That's totally awesome. And could you tell us anything else you'd like to add about the event?
No, just again, we want to express our gratitude to the Glen Burnie Rotary. I mean, it's wonderful that they do this and think of us each year, and also to the community. We want to thank the community for their participation and all they do to help the hospital. We're very humbled by it and very appreciative.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Ron, and thanks for your leadership over at the hospital here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark.
And we have Senator Ed DeGrange with me, and Ed's always great to see you out in the community. And
good to see you, Mark.
Good to see you. And could you tell the viewers out there about the craft feast, when, what time, and all the other good stuff?
The craft feast is August 16th, Thursday, August 16th, and it's from 6 to 10 p.m. $50 per person. Tickets can be had by, you can go onto the website for the Rotary Club. It'll have information there. Or you can call the hospital and they'll get in touch with us to get the tickets to you.
Okay, great. And do you have a telephone number for the hospital?
Well, you can call my office,
Okay.
410-787-6789.
Okay, great. And where is it going to be at?
It's going to be at Michael's 8th Avenue
Okay.
again this year. We've had the last few years, that's where we've been, and we move around sometimes.
Okay, great. And I took a look at the menu briefly, and I understand there's a lot of great stuff on the menu. Can you tell us a little bit about the other food that's going to be there, and entertainment or anything like that?
Well, they usually have some pit beef there, and they have some sausage and potato salad, crab soup, and all the trimmings that you could think of are there.
Okay, great. Well, my appetite's definitely getting really worked up now. So, well, this is a great event. Thanks a lot, Ed, for coming on the show, and thanks to the rest of the Rotary Club of Glen Burnie, and thanks for all you do throughout the entire year. I know you all do a lot of different things, whether it be a dictionary program or just helping out in many, many different ways. So really appreciate all the work you do. So this is a great, wonderful event. Definitely mark your calendars for August 16th and come on out. Give the hospital a call if you need any tickets. There's plenty of tickets still left, so give them a call. This is a wonderful event, so we hope to see you there. Reporting from Baltimore Washington Medical Center in Glen Burnie. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Mark. I think next summer I'm going to hit the circuit and make sure every weekend I'm hitting one of these different crab feasts. That might be fun, right?
Sure, why not? Take your windsurfer.
Yeah, my
your paddle
board surfer or paddle board.
Well, folks, there's more Week in Review to come, and I promise no more Olympics. We have an interview with our new police chief, 2 days on the job. Chief Larry Tolliver will be joining us. Take a look at our community calendar for upcoming events around the county, and folks, we'll be right back.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
And welcome back. Well, 2 days on to the job, we thought we'd bring you Anne Arundel County's newest police chief, but he's not a new face to Anne Arundel County. Chief Larry Tolliver, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Chief, 2 days on the job here. You're back in Anne Arundel County. You're back in the uniform. Glad the chief's uniform still fits you. This was kind of a surprise to you, I think. I don't think you were ever expecting to come back out of retirement and take over a department that you ran about 14 years ago.
No, I retired in 2007, and I expected to retire the warhorse. And I was excited about being called and about the offer, and hopefully I can contribute something good for the county.
Absolutely. And you were chief 93 to 97, right around that time frame. What have you seen different with the department on your first couple days back in the job?
Well, I was still with the state police in 93. So I think the agency, one of the things that concerned me with the agency is the morale, and that's one of the issues. My main concern is the morale of the agency. Anne Arundel County has some really good people. The men and women of the police department really do an excellent job. So one of my goals is bring the morale back up, give them the tools to do their job. It's like anything else that you would do.
And what are some of your plans in order to boost the morale? What do you want to bring new to the department?
Well, some of the goals, you know, I want to get back to basic policing. I think one of the things you need to do is get out and work in the communities. I believe in meeting with the community associations. I believe in the officers getting out of their cars and meeting with the community. This is important. Like today, I stopped by the Eastern District. I go out and meet. I'm going to go show up for roll calls. I'm going to ride with the officers, see what their problems are. I've already met with all the unions. I did that right away. After the first day, I met with all the unions and see what their problems were, and we discussed, fiscal times are very tough right now. There's fiscal constraints. And I said, let's talk about the ways we can improve our jobs, and you come back and give me some of the goals that you have for the job that doesn't involve money right now.
That's right.
With the items that we have to work with, the tools that we have to work with. And they were very excited about that. They wanted to be part of the process of improving the agency. So I was excited about that. Everyone wanted to work with me. I didn't have any dissenters, so that was well. So I think I'm excited about that. Going to make a few personnel changes. And no one's at fault about anything, but if a new boss comes in, you move people around. Things that I think will make the agency run a little bit more smoothly.
Sure. Chief, 30 plus years in law enforcement for you. Started out with the Maryland State Police, Anne Arundel County Police, then you took over the Comptroller's Enforcement Division. How do you see law enforcement with the change in technology? You have a lot of change in technology with the new computer-aided dispatch systems, just the advance of GPS and officers using that. How do you view that from when you first started back with the state police a number of years ago?
I wish we had had that. I could remember when I came on, they had an old teletype machine, and it just kept going and rolling. If you were sending a message out to all the state or just to headquarters, if you screwed up typing and made a mistake typing, or you broke the contact, it would take you forever to get back to be able to send these messages. Just the minor things of emails and how you can communicate. And the officers now, a lot of them can do some of these issues from their cars. This is so different, it's unbelievable. And the portable radios, you didn't have any of that, so, it had it in the car, so. It's a lot of changes, all for the better. And you got to give them the right tools to do it with. The response we had sometimes where I was working, 2 policemen in the whole county. So it's totally different.
Yeah.
Times are different though now.
You're right, and technology has definitely improved. And one of the great things that I like right now about how we get our news and how we're interacting with each other, and I know Justin Mulcahy from your department does a great job running the Facebook page. What are your feelings on things like Facebook and Twitter, getting the word out and helping people social media networking?
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
I don't do Facebook. I don't do Facebook, and I don't do Twitter.
Okay.
My wife does.
Oh, there you go.
I don't get involved in all that. I don't have any problem with it. One of the things that holds people in public service jobs, not just police officers, anywhere that works for government, it holds them more accountable, doesn't it? Everyone's looking at what you're doing. I think that's positive, personally. Everyone's watching you, so
agreed.
Keep that in mind
as
you're doing your job. So I'm not against it, but I don't. You're never going to see me doing Twitter or any of that.
Well, there you go.
Well, Chief, you come back to a department at a time when a lot of good things are happening. A lot of positive changes are coming to Anne Arundel County. But I think the biggest thing is that I always like to end an interview with is a good story about you. And I understand in talking to some folks off camera that when you were an officer, you got shot at one time. But the best story is this story about Ronald McDonald. Tell us a little bit about that, because I know there's a lot of McDonald fans out there that watch this show.
My very last day that I worked with Anne Arundel County, and it was strange. We were riding down the road and we looked over and saw a gentleman smoking a marijuana cigarette. I pulled him over and I locked him up. And ironically, his name was Ronald McDonald. I said, a lot of kids are going to hate me. It was kind of funny, and that's the way I ended my career with Anne Arundel County Police.
Well, let's hope the beginning will be better than the end. Chief, welcome back to Anne Arundel County, and we're looking forward to great things from you and your leadership of the department. So thanks for joining us on the show. And folks, stay with us, because we'll have more Week in Review when we come back after these messages. Stay with us.
On lui revient tes hanches au bal du dimanche. up on sex, don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
Welcome back. Well, in honor of our Chief of Police being here today, we move next to National Night Out events around the county. So Mark Chang brings us a preview of what's to come. Mark.
Thanks to both of you in the studio. I'm over here at the Northern District Police Station up in Brooklyn Park, and with me today I have one of the organizers for the Brooklyn Park National Night Out, Jen Tompkins. She's a very active community leader in our part of the neck of the woods up here. Jen, could you tell the viewers out there who don't know about National Night Out, what is National Night Out?
National Night Out is a proven organization that promotes safer communities with an inexpensive and very effective method of promotion of safer communities.
Okay, great. And why is this program so important to the Brooklyn Park community? I know that it's gone on for several years, and why is it so important to this community?
Well, everyone knows that there is crime everywhere, but the crime statistics are higher in North County, unfortunately. So we are attempting to join our neighbors together and make a safer community, starting and continuing with this evening.
Okay, great. And when and where is the Brooklyn Park National Night Out going to be?
It will be held at Arundel Village Park, which is also known as Cross Street Park. It's across the street from 705 Cross Street in Brooklyn Park, right here in Brooklyn Park.
Okay, great. And for viewers out there who might try to get there, if they're coming off Ritchie Highway, what's the best way to get there?
Sure, and I should also say it's from 6 to 9 that night on August 7th. The best way to get there is to take Church Street east off of Ritchie Highway and go left on 6th Street, and at the T on 6th Street, go left on Cross Street. It's very easy, and the park's on the right.
Okay, great. And Tuesday, August 7th, 6 to 9, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. And I know from the past, they have a lot of activities, great time for the community to get together. What can viewers expect who might come out there?
Well, that's a great question. We will have food, and food.
Okay.
And we'll also have games for the kids, water balloon toss, as well as a beanbag toss, and a moon bounce. We will have more food and vendors from the local businesses in the area who want to support our community and promote their business. We'll also have demonstrations from the fire department and the police department with the mobile crime lab, as well as I believe the K9 unit will be there as well.
Okay, great. And the fire department will be there too, and 911 call center folks, and a lot of different.
All kinds of people.
Exactly,
yes.
exactly.
Yes.
Speaking of stakeholders, I know that Take Back Our Streets, a great organization up in Northern Park County, is donating the food.
That's right.
And then also, I understand you have a great relationship with the Northern Anne Arundel County Chamber of Commerce, and they're teaming up with you all.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. Well, I know we talked about a lot. For folks out there that want to get more information about it, what's the contact information, who to contact?
You can contact my husband, Philip, at 410-952-2907 or via email at ptompkins, which is TOMPKINS, @gmail.com.
Okay, well, great. Thank you very much, Jen, for all the information about the Brooklyn Park National Night Out. And for the viewers out there, in addition to the Brooklyn Park National Night Out, there's also National Nights Out going out throughout the entire county, and one down in South County and Shadyside. There's also one in Crofton, and then there's also one in Fort Meade, and then there's various other ones going on out there. But if you want more information about the Brooklyn Park National Night Out or other ones throughout the entire county, you can always call the Office of Community and Constituent Services at 410-222-1242. Reporting from Brooklyn Park for Anne Arundel County Week in Review, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Mark. There are many events all around the county from north to south, so if you want a full list, go to www.aacounty.org and click on National Night Out banner.
Yep, I'm going to be at the Brooklyn Park one.
Are you singing?
No, I'm not singing. I'm
Why not?
doing the recycling thing.
Oh, so you're actually working.
I'm actually working.
Yeah, you're not playing.
This week, the Anne Arundel County Fire Department responded to more than 1,430 calls for service. This included 1,107 emergency medical calls and 98 fire calls. This week, one person was killed and 3 others were injured in 2 different incidents this week. With me now to tell us more about these incidents is Division Chief Michael COx of the Anne Arundel County Fire Department. Chief.
Thanks, Kristin. The first incident occurred just before 7 a.m. on Tuesday, July 31st, 2012, when Anne Arundel County firefighters responded to the 1400 block of Dorsey Road in the Hanover section of the county for an injured person. The first units to arrive on the scene reported that a 32-year-old construction worker had fallen off the roof of a 3-story condominium. The patient suffered fatal injuries as a result of the incident and was pronounced dead at the scene. A preliminary investigation into the incident revealed that the worker had gone to the roof to secure a safety anchor and apparently fell while trying to accomplish this task. In a second incident, 3 people were injured when the power boat they were riding in struck a buoy, ejecting all of the occupants in the boat. The incident occurred around 5:30 p.m. Tuesday the 31st when Anne Arundel County firefighters responded to a reported boat accident in the 1700 block of Marley Avenue in the Glen Burnie area of the county. The first emergency crews to arrive found 4 people on shore in the rear of a residence. There were a total of 3 patients injured as a result of the incident. The first patient, a 37-year-old female, suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries. She was transported via ground ambulance to the University of Maryland's R. Adams Cowley Shock Trauma Center in Baltimore. 2 other occupants of the boat, a 46-year-old male and a 46-year-old woman, suffered minor injuries and were transported via ground ambulance to Baltimore Washington Medical Center in Glen Burnie. Kristin?
Thanks, Chief. The Maryland Department of Natural Resources Police are investigating the exact cause of this incident.
Well, earlier in the show, Mark Chang whetted our appetites with information about a crab feast. But after you eat all those crabs, what do you do to work off all those calories? Paddle or pedal? Carolyn Ryan has the answers in this week's Recreation and Park Spotlight from Quiet Waters Park. Carolyn.
Here in Anne Arundel County, we are lucky enough to have over 500 miles of shoreline. And in the summertime, one of our favorite things to do is to get out on the water. And we are here at Quiet Waters Park, where this is one of the best places to get out on the water with Paddle or Pedal. Gary Whedon from Paddle or Pedal is here with us. Thanks for being on the show again.
Well, thanks for having me. This is just a beautiful location here at Quiet Waters Park.
This is a great location to get out and rent a boat. Tell us about what can we paddle here at Quiet Waters.
Sure, we have several options available for you. Everything from the newest, latest, and greatest stand-up paddle boards, which are very exciting, to double and single tandem kayaks, sit on top, sit in sides, and canoes, and we can even teach you how to instruction on a rowing shell.
Great.
Along with the paddling, we have some bicycles still.
Great. Now, you were telling me a little bit about some new bikes that you just got in.
We recently did get a half a dozen bikes that are made here in the United States of America, welded in New York City, and I think they're an excellent bike, beautiful, and it came out in the company colors of green and orange, and little 24-inch tires, step-through frames. Looking forward to having people down here to ride them.
Great. Now, you talked a little bit about some instruction on rowing. Tell us about that.
Okay, we can teach you how to row a single sculling shell, and that usually takes about 3 to 5 lessons. They're $50 an hour, and that includes the cost of the rental. And then afterwards, you can rent a shell for $20 per hour.
Great, great. And the stand-up paddle boards, those are relatively new here at the park, and you were also giving me a little update on some new things that you've got going on in the stand-up paddle boards. Now, when just renting the paddleboard, do you get a lesson with that?
You get the staff 5-minute instruction, which for most is really quite enough. We'll spend any time with you, even stay at the dock, help you out, get you on the board, and teach you how to do the paddle strokes and turn around and get back on the board if you should happen to fall off. But it's one of those things that on a hot day you just might end up doing that. Also, though, what's been the latest and greatest thing is to do yoga on a stand-up paddleboard, and so we've got a couple classes coming up here in the next week. You can sign up for that allow you to do yoga on a stand-up paddleboard with a yoga instructor on the water with you.
Great. Well, that sounds very interesting. I'd love to come and try that out.
Well,
now,
welcome having you.
When can folks come, and when are you open?
We're open every day but Tuesday when the park is closed. Other than that, we're 6 days a week, 10 to 5 o'clock. The last boat goes out back by 6.
Great, great. Well, folks, if you want to get out on the water, Paddle or Pedal is the place to go, or get out on the water or pedal through the park. So come on out to Paddle or Pedal at Quiet Waters Park. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Carolyn. There's so much to do at Quiet Waters. You can go to concerts, take your dog to a dog park, go for a hike, go ice skating in the winter. It's a great place.
It is. And Mary Felter joins us this week to talk with Mary Chaput about the upcoming Virtual Dementia Tour. Mary.
Thank you. Today I'm pleased to welcome Mary Chaput, who's the director of our National Family Caregiver Support Program, as well as our Respite Program, to the program so she can talk about an exciting program she's working on right now. It's called the Virtual Dementia Tours. Welcome to Week in Review, Mary.
Thank you for having me.
First, why don't you tell people what dementia is?
Well, Mary, dementia is the overall diagnosis for cognitive impairments, and there's over 80 different kinds of dementia. The one people are most familiar with is Alzheimer's disease. What we find out is when the patient or the family may get that diagnosis, they may also get a prognosis, but they don't have an understanding of what this means, what's going to be happening in the future.
So the Virtual Dementia Tour is really going to help them understand what dementia is?
We think it will, and from the tours that we've already done and the feedback we received, people get a better understanding of what their family members are dealing with on a day-to-day basis, 24 hours a day.
And so it's a simulation, it's not actual, working with a dementia patient.
That's right, it's not working with dementia patient, and we're not going to make anybody demented. It's a simulation. We're going to garb them in gear that's going to create a sensory deprivation of all their senses, and we're going to give them some tasks to do that may cause some confusion. But for them, it's a temporary type of feeling where the people that they love, the people that they're caring for, as I said, are dealing with this 24/7.
So it's sort of like having them walk a mile in someone else's shoes to kind of understand what that is like.
That's exactly right. Again, it's a short period of time, although when you're going through the tour, it seems much longer.
I've taken that tour. Yes, it does. So I can say it's not dangerous. It's a little scary because you don't understand things like you want to.
That's right. It's not dangerous at all. We're watching people at all times when they're in the tour to make sure that they're safe. Mainly people are very apprehensive as they're getting ready to take the tour because they don't know what to expect.
When you say sensory deprived, you mean you really cover their eyes, or?
We do. There's special goggles that are made to make it as though you have a macular degeneration, or you may have glaucoma or cataracts. It impairs your peripheral vision. There's also earphones that are worn to simulate the sounds that people with dementia are hearing on an ongoing basis. And we also deprive feeling in the feet and the hands for a short period of time.
And I understand you give them some tasks to accomplish, but I don't always necessarily understand it.
That's right. We give 5 simple tasks to do, except when you're going through the tour, they don't feel like they're very simple at all.
Yes, I remember that. I think I absolutely froze.
I think you did, Mary.
Yes, I did. I froze because I was like, I couldn't understand what you wanted me to do. So that was very eye-opening to me. So I wanted to ask, since people feel very disoriented and you do this over about an hour period, and then you have a time period afterwards where you ask people what their perceptions of this event are.
That's right, and we think the tour is very important, and when we do a large group of people, it does take an hour or so to get everyone through the tour. And then we do an hour educational session afterwards, and to me that's just as important. One has to go with the other. Because, just because you now understand what the people are dealing with, what your loved one is dealing with, what does that mean? And how can you change your behavior?
Correct.
So that you can make life a little bit easier for them. Because what we know is if our person that we're caring for is stress-free, then the caregiver is going to experience a lot of less stress also.
And I understand with dementia, you have to understand that they're in their own bubble, their own world, and you're not going to get them to come back to yours.
That's right. And it's hard for caregivers to understand they can't make it better. They can't cure the person. They're not going to improve. It's not like raising a child and you're going to see the stages and the child's going to go through the stages and eventually grow up and make their own decisions. With the dementia, we're seeing the exact opposite. People regress instead of progress.
So you say you've got these virtual dementia tours coming up, and I know we've got some information here about when they're going to be conducted and who's doing it. Can you tell me a little bit? I don't mind if you have to read this because they're kind of complicated.
Sure. Well, we've been wanting to get this out to our family caregivers. When we've done it in the past at our conferences and some of our workshops, we can never get everybody through the tour that wants to go through the tour. So we've been really trying to find a way to get this out into the community for free for family caregivers. Mm-hmm. And we had 5 wonderful facilities here in the county who offered their space so that we could do this. So I'm going to go ahead and read these. Mm-hmm. We do have Sunrise Senior Living in Severna Park and Summerford Place in Annapolis. But I will have to tell you, both of those are full already. So,
that's wonderful.
So we're very happy to have that happen. Now, Fairfield Nursing and Rehab Center in Crownsville, we're going to be doing the Virtual Dementia Tour on September 25th at 6:30 in the evening. At Morningside House of Friendship, it's an assisted living and dementia care facility in Hanover, we'll be doing the tour on October 3rd. Brightview South River in Edgewater is actually hosting 2 tours, and they're both going to be on September 26th. One of them will be at 10 a.m. in the morning, and the other one will be 6:30 in the evening.
I understand the Summerford was very kind enough to also offer respite care to people.
That's correct.
I'm excited about what people say afterwards, their reactions to it, and they're glad that they've taken the tour. Can you tell us some of their comments?
Well, you know, the reactions vary. Every time we do a session, it's different every time. We've had people who have totally frozen. We've had people who have refused to do anything. We've had people who walked out of the room. And again, these are the behaviors that we're going to see in someone with dementia possibly. When we do the wrap-up session, the comments are very interesting. And again, it varies. Some people are very quiet. They're still processing what happened. They may be listening to what other folks are saying and taking in what kind of hints that we're giving them as far as how to deal with this at home. Everyone is very grateful afterwards. We have family members who feel bad because maybe they say, now I understand why they're doing it, and I've been very short-tempered. Because the behaviors that someone with dementia can have can be taken personally by the person who's giving care. So once they go through this and they understand it's not personal, they're able to step back a little bit. We've also done this tour for some professional caregivers, and that's been very interesting. Just last week we had a nurse who has been doing long-term care for more than 20 years, and she said afterward it was the best 2 hours of her life.
It's always encouraging to hear these kind of comments because people's behaviors can change and make their life, like you said, less stressful and better for the patient as well.
That's right. That's right.
If I wanted to register for the tours, what's the number to call?
You can call us at 410-222-4464, extension 3094. I'm sorry, let's make that 3043.
That would be good.
Yes.
Well, why don't you repeat the number then?
410-222-4464, extension 3043. Or if they are computer literate, they can go online and register at www.aacounty.org/aging.
And scroll down.
It's right on our homepage.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming in and talking about the Virtual Dementia Tours. As someone who's taken it and survived it without any problem, it was an eye-opener, and I very much appreciate the Department of Aging for doing that. Thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you.
This is Mary Felter, Public Information Officer for the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities, and you've been listening to Mary Chaput, Director of our Family Caregiver Program. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Mary. So we've got these National Night Outs coming up.
Kristin, these things have grown in this county.
They have.
It used to be just a really nice one down in South County, and then North County kind of had one, but now it's expanding out west. And they get bigger and bigger every year. I was actually in a staff meeting a few days ago, and I heard some of our staff talking about it, and they said, well, we've got, you know, clowns and moon bounces. Do you have those down there? No, we've got jugglers and a band. And, I mean, people are just trying to outdo the others, and it's great. It's drawing the community members in. And
it is. I hope there's no clowns at the one I'm at.
No Are you scared of
clowns? I don't like clowns.
Are you afraid of them?
A little.
We're going to bring one on. Guest interview.
No.
Folks, she's afraid of clowns.
No.
We're bringing in the clowns.
Don't want them near me,
Bring in the clowns. Isn't that the circus
no,
thing?
Stop the clowns. No clowning around.
Speaking of clowns and clowning around, it's been a interesting week here in the county.
It has.
Last Friday, we had the Joker
Oh, gosh.
The gentleman that called in some threats to
This is awful.
the place where he worked in Prince George's County. Thankfully, that individual's been arrested and detained. Good job to our Anne Arundel County Special Operations Police folks. They were able to apprehend him without incident and make sure that that Crofton community is safe, and the folks that work at Pitney Bowes in Prince George's County are safe as well. And then just on Thursday, Annapolis Mall, not the Annapolis Mall, but the one of the cinemas down in Annapolis, we had an incident where a gentleman got up and thought that he was being Wyatt Earp.
He was faking that he had a gun.
Exactly,
Yeah.
faking that he had a gun. And
I
in
can't
Madagascar
imagine.
3,
In
I mean, all
Madagascar,
these
it's
kids
exactly.
in the movie theaters.
Families.
So it's been interesting. It's been an interesting week in the county.
I just hope it all stops. I mean, it's really sad when people decide that they don't want to go to the movies because they feel it's unsafe.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's safe. The movies are safe.
They are.
But if you don't want to go to the movies, watch Week in Review. You can watch it many, many, many times each week. You can watch it online.
The only thing scary here is Erik.
You got it. On that note, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode online anytime, just like we said, at www.aacounty.org. Archive episodes are available at blip.tv and on YouTube. And you can also subscribe to the free, yes, free video podcast at iTunes, or like us on Facebook at Arundel TV. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around your county. We'll see you next time.